Setting up our box here, there's a couple of things that you have to know and that you get to make a choice between. One of those is, would you want to use VirtualBox? It's a free software that you can use to host Kali Linux, and I personally use VMware, and I highly recommend VMware. I believe you get 30 days free trial, and I have never had any problems with VMware. It works really well. It has never failed me. I've never had any problems with it. But I actually did use VirtualBox when I started out, and I had a ton of problems with VirtualBox. It would crash, it was slow, I couldn't get things to configure right. And so after months of struggling with VirtualBox, I decided to give VMware a try, and it has worked really well for me. And so I recommend VMware, but I'm going to go through and show you guys how to set up your box on both VirtualBox and VMware, and then we'll get started from there. I am assuming that VMware and VirtualBox, their setup is both the same for Windows. I have never actually set it up on Windows. So if any of you have any problems setting up your box, please let me know in the comments or the questions, and I'll try and help you sort things out and get it set up so that we're ready to begin having some fun. All right, once you've decided which software you're going to go with, it's time to download. So if you're going to be downloading VirtualBox and Windows, or for a Mac, you can go ahead and select those, let it download. I'm not going to actually re-download this. I've already downloaded it, but I will walk you through setting up your machine on VirtualBox in the coming lessons. But go ahead and download it, and it's going to go through and ask you to install the package, and you can go ahead and walk through that. It's all self-explanatory, and the same is true with VMware. Once you've decided to go with VMware or VirtualBox, once you've decided, you can hop over to VMware if that's what you've chosen, and you can select the player you want to use. So you can come in here, you can download it, you can set up the free trial. There's no registration required, so you don't have to put in a card number, you don't have to do anything before you start using it. But when the 30 days are over, it'll shut you off and you won't be able to use it anymore until you actually purchase the software. And so once you have downloaded your software that you want to use, you want to be running, you'll come over to Kali Linux, and this link will actually be in your resources for this specific video. And if you're using VMware, you can choose which image you're going to be using. I downloaded the Kali Linux VMware 64-bit, and if you're going to be using VirtualBox, you will download which VirtualBox image you are going to be using. The reason we use Kali Linux from Offensive Security is it comes preloaded with a lot of the tools that we're going to need, and it will save us from having to download tools. And trust me, you will hear me complain about downloading tools. It is one of the most frustrating parts of learning any kind of pen testing, is just downloading the tools and reading documentation on how to use them. But that's why I'm here, and I'm hoping that we can make it go as smoothly as possible. So when we are downloading tools, if you become frustrated, please comment in the questions, because it was one of the most frustrating things I had to go through. I actually crashed an entire box of Kali Linux I had been working on for, I don't know, maybe a month, and I was trying to download tools, I was trying to configure them, and I got into the code that is running on my terminal. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in the root access, and I totally messed up the entire box image, and I had to re-download Kali Linux and start all over. So I hope that doesn't happen to you. So if you're having trouble downloading tools, just in the comment before you just start trying random things like I did, ask questions, see if I can help you, or maybe one of the other students taking this course will be able to help you figure out just exactly where you've gone wrong, and we can get that sorted out. who have chosen to go with VirtualBox. May the force be with you, and you do not have the problems that I have had with VirtualBox. But once you finish downloading and you have went ahead and gone through and agreed to all of the terms and services, you will come to a page similar to this. And once you have downloaded Kali Linux, you can come in here and you will click New, and you will go to your folder where you have your machines, and you will go ahead and pull it up, um, and you can open, you'd be using Linux, or I believe what you can do rather than coming in here and clicking new is just go navigate to your downloads file. For me, it'd come in here, and I would go into my VirtualBox machine, and I would open it up, and it would take me to here, and it would automatically go into your VirtualBox. And you can also, if you have to, you can right click on your machine and it'll say open with, and you will click open with VirtualBox. And then once you're in here, there's a couple of things you're going to have to configure. And you're going to have to configure what you want on your system. And so this is your RAM, and you can decide how much RAM you want to give to VirtualBox. In my experience, VirtualBox will eat as much RAM as you give it. So if you have um, 32 gigs of RAM, you can give it 8, and it will use as much as you give it. One of the things, if you have only 8 gigs of RAM, I think you could get away with giving it 2 or 3, and that should be fine. And as you go into your processor, VirtualBox will eat your CPUs. And so I would say give it um, as many as you can spare. And so if you have 4, give it 2. And if you're still experiencing a lot of lag and you notice that your CPUs it's using more than 100 or 200 or 300%, come in here after you've already configured it and just see if you can give it 3 and your your actual machine can function with just 1 and run VirtualBox. And I would recommend having everything closed if you're running VirtualBox. And if you know of a better way to configure it, or you come across something different, you can go ahead and try that. But this is how I have configured my VirtualBox. And to be honest, I don't believe I've used VirtualBox for more than 5 minutes in the last 6 months. So my VirtualBox experience is not up to date. So maybe things have changed and it works better today, and it'll work better for you. And once you are to this point and you're ready to start up your machine, you will go ahead and you will click start, and VirtualBox should load. And hopefully we get away from the tiny screen and it goes full screen. And what we will do is, once you get into VirtualBox, your password and your username is Kali, and then your password is Kali. And you are ready to begin. All right, now that you have downloaded whatever image you're going to be using, we're going to actually be installing Kali Linux on VMware on this video. If you're doing VirtualBox, you can go ahead and skip to the next video and save yourself some time. So if you downloaded VMware and you are using the VMware image, you can go ahead and know that you're going to have to download 7-zip. If you are on Windows, you can use 7-zip. You just come up to your browser, you can type in 7-zip, and you'll be able to download 7-zip so that you can unzip the file and that you can actually get to the image. If you're on a Mac, I actually use the unarchiver, and this is what I use to unzip my files. So you'll navigate to your downloads, and we're going to unzip the new image. So I think that it will automatically start to unzip with the unarchiver after you've um, installed that, or 7-zip. You might actually have to go into your downloads and then right click and click open with, and then you would use 7-zip, and it'll go ahead and unzip it, and it will bring up the image so that it's ready to be installed on your uh, VMware. So with that, I'll go ahead and pause the video and I'll restart it once this is finished unzipping. Alright, now that that is done unzipping, what we're going to do is go to your downloads folder. You can actually see stuff that I've downloaded since I've had this computer. But you just go ahead, this is my new download. Go ahead and right click it and you can open with, and we're going to go VMware Fusion, and it should pull it up. And if you want to name your image something other than Kali Linux 2020, whatever yours is, you need to rename it before you open it. I think once you open it and you have configured the image, you're not allowed to rename it or even move it out of your downloads file. At least I had some problems doing that in the past, so go ahead and put that wherever you want it. If you want to leave it in your downloads, that's fine, and if you want to rename it, you can do that now. I'm going to go ahead and click Don't Upgrade, and you will click I copied it, and then we should be booting up our machine. Alright, congratulations, you have finally successfully updated your workspace. Your password and your username are both the same. It's just Kali and then Kali, and that should log you in. And now we are set and ready to begin.